Hello, 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 and welcome to Alley Top Files. And Chris
Hi
is with me
guys.
today, as always. We are doing the episode of Where is Natalie Holloway? Is the case closed? Um, so thank you so much for coming, and we're gonna start right away with which slide do we have first, babe?
I think we got an introduction just to tell you a little bit about how she ended up on the trip and how she ended up going down there, where she lived and where she went.
And maybe a little disclaimer to start.
Yes,
Yes.
we are trying to be as respectful as we can to all victims and families in regards to this episode. We will not be theorizing much in order to keep that respect and bring just the facts that we could find and verify. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so we'll start with the first one here.
On May 26, 2005, Beth Twitty dropped her daughter off at a friend's house, where she would then be taken to the airport for a private flight to an island just off the coast of Venezuela. Natalie Holloway, an 18-year-old girl from Birmingham, Alabama, was planning on attending a 5-day unofficial graduation trip to Aruba. Her and her 124 classmates and 7 chaperones were getting ready for a 6-hour flight across the Caribbean Sea, where they would get to celebrate their graduation. This extravagant end-of-the-year trip was somewhat of a tradition at the high school that Holloway attended, which was located in a wealthy suburb of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, so
That's just the little details there. So she was going with her class. There was a bunch of chaperones. It was a tradition for this school to do that.
yeah, and her parents didn't really they were kind of uneasy about her going. She begged them. I remember that. And finally her mom didn't want her to go, but her dad did give her the money to go because she was doing so well in school. So she went. And I think she was dropped off at a friend's house that night, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they all they left together the next day or the day after, I guess.
Yeah. So I think she wanted to be a lawyer or something. I can't remember what she was studying to be.
But it seems pretty normal, you celebrate, you graduate, whatever, right? And you go and
Yeah.
take some time off, go travel a bit, like, celebrate. It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
A lot of families do that, and a lot of young people her age do that.
Yeah, because you're finishing your years of high school and now you're gonna move on to, university or wherever she was going. And I think that would be you know, that breaking into like kind of like a little bit of adulthood because
Yeah,
she wanted to get a dorm and do all that. So this would
yeah. Everybody fights for their independence, especially at that age, right? That makes sense to me, right?
well, me as a mom, I would be worried because we already done the Amy Bradley case and now we're
Absolutely.
doing this one. And they're both situated around water in Aruba. I'm not saying anything about Aruba. Aruba's beautiful.
Love
But
Aruba.
this can happen everywhere. It happens in Bahamas. It happens in, you know,
in Cuba,
Anywhere.
and
But it's just, especially for young women, they really need to, not just go with a bunch of girls because sometimes they all separate and stuff. So that's where I get
you
a
need
little
to
bit.
have your ride or die, basically.
You do, that person that will,
Watch your back, and you watch their back.
yeah,
Make sure you're okay.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's all for having fun, but you got to be able to do so safely. And
yeah.
this day and age, things are getting crazier and crazier. It's
Okay.
harder to be carefree.
So next slide. So we're coming to the anniversary of when this happened. It's coming really soon. It happened on May 30th, and she was 18 years old, graduate from Mountain Brook, Alabama, and she disappeared on a trip to Aruba. She was last seen outside the Orangestad nightclub, Carlos and Charlie's. Oh, the Amy Bradley. I'm thinking about that. We'll talk about that later. Entering a car with Jordan Vandersloot and brothers Deepak and Satish Kalpo. I think I said that right.
Calpo, I
Kalpo.
believe that's
Despite extensive searches involving Aruban authorities, FBI agent, and Dutch military personnel and volunteer teams, her remains have never been found.
that's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
So that's just some details about her. We got some key timeline events up there. 2005, that's when she disappeared about 1:30 a.m. That was May 30th. May 30th again. She fails to appear for a flight home, of course.
But she was on this one. It says 1:30 a.m. leaving the nightclub. You forgot to read that part. Leaving the nightclub with Vandersloot
And the brothers.
and the brothers. So that was the last time she was seen.
Yes. In June, later that same year, several suspects, including Vandersloot and the Calpo brothers, were arrested and later released. I believe Jordan's dad, Jordan Vandersloot's father, was also arrested. I believe his name is Paulus Vandersloot.
Yeah. He always bothered me.
Yeah, me too. Further along, January 3rd, Vandersloot was arrested in Chile and this is actually 5 years later, so this is 2010. Jordan gets arrested for another murder. And this is Stephanie Flores in Peru, and we will touch a little bit about that. And that was exactly 5 years after Natalie disappeared. January 2012, an Alabama judge signs an order declaring Natalie legally dead. And October 18, 2023, Vandersloot confesses to killing Holloway on an Aruba beach, stating that he hit her with a cinder block and then disposed of her into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to believe of that, but whatever.
And she's saying that because Jordan has quite the reputation of telling a lot of falsehoods throughout the whole years of this investigation. And he told so many lies that they actually couldn't even take his confession a couple times because even that was doubted.
Well, he was also seen in Thailand. You know, he does a lot of these because he hangs out at the casinos. That's where he meets the women.
Yeah,
and bars.
He's a poker player.
Bars and casinos. We'll get into the next episode of what happened with the girl in Peru. Because that was actually evidence that he did murder her. So, but for Natalie Holloway, we really don't have a body. We don't have anything except his words of what he supposedly said. Because when I was listening to this case a long time ago, the mom came right to their house.
Yes.
Absolutely. And she flew there. She went to Jordan Vandersloot's house because he had a separate entrance or housing.
Yeah, like a pool house in his dad's backyard, and that's where he lounged with his friends.
Right.
So
separate from his father. So he had his own little pad kind of thing. And he brought girls there probably all the time. And what makes me kind of shady about this whole thing, his dad's a lawyer. And, allegedly, when all this happened, he told his son what to say, probably. And he didn't really say much when the mom came with police officers to their
residence.
House, yeah. And she wanted to know who her daughter was. And it was stated somewhere that during the course of this case that the dad was involved in part of this, like disposing or removing or helping his son. We'll never really get to the bottom of what happened because he's no longer here, his dad. But did you have something to read about that, or you
Um,
wanted to talk about it later?
well, since I was going to read it when we got to that part, but I can bring it up now.
Yeah,
So, where was it? As Ali just stated, he passed away in 2010. He was a Dutch lawyer and trainer of judges in Aruba. He was arrested in 2005 and questioned, but released, maintained his son's innocence until he passed away.
yeah.
Um, Allegations and claims against him, there was numerous, but I'll read out just one as an example. Although he was never charged, he was suspected in helping to cover up information in regards to her disappearance. Um, his son, Joran van der Sloot, later claimed in a story that he later redacted that he helped his father bury Holloway under a house. And that was just one of the number of lies he told investigators, FBI, and the family throughout the entire investigation and up until, literally a couple of years ago.
I think they. I feel like they. I know there's lots of problems with his son, and the mom said as well. He's notorious for lying.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, and he was also seen, and I don't. Maybe in the next episode, I'll probably just do two. This one and another one. Um, he was seen in Thailand before this, um, allegedly extorting women. You know.
And the period that Ali's talking about, this happens in between the 5 years after Natalie disappeared and before the death
Yeah,
of Stephanie Flores. So
but
this
he
is
went
very
there a
interesting.
lot.
He did,
He did
but
there
in
a lot.
this particular case,
Yeah.
um, it's interesting that he sort of fled and then came back
Yes.
and apparently didn't learn anything.
All right. Yeah, he didn't.
Still hurting people.
Yeah. So we really don't know because we don't have a body, right?
Yes.
So these are more documents. You guys can read this if you want. What do we have here?
This is just bringing up basically the legalities around the case over the years. So it's different uh, indictments, different pleas and confessions, arrests, his sentence.
Oh yeah, this one was good. The 2010 one. Vandersloot was indicted for extortion and wire fraud, charges for demanding 250,000 from Beth Holloway, that's the mom, in exchange for revealing the location of her daughter's remains. Can you believe this? So he really needed money back then.
Well, and ironically, that is what ended up landing him in prison, not the
Yes.
actual murder or those accusations or charges. That
The
right there.
extortion. Yeah.
Yes. And we'll get into that a little bit later with some extra details as well. But
And he
yeah.
was free for many years. Like she
Oh,
was trying.
yeah. Oh,
So
heck yeah.
even those boys that were with him. So
The brothers.
I feel like this is just allegedly. I feel like there's still those two boys were still involved in some way.
Yeah, because we can't trust what he said. He lied too much, and the details of his alleged accomplices were they were interrogated, but how far did they actually vet those
Right.
statements? Right. So that's an issue still.
But listen to this. Like we'll get to when I get to that picture. We will get to it. But this is the mom, and of course she's been fighting. She's been fighting ever since. She's um I don't know what else to say about her. I remember when this happened. I never forgot about it, and it's leading up to the day of when she disappeared. So
Yeah,
I feel for that family.
and she's been a warrior for her daughter over the years.
Yes.
She's never given up. She's never lost faith, and that could just be
Yeah.
horrible to deal with year after year. So, like, our heart really does pour out to her and her family.
Hmm. And this is just when she was missing. They were looking for her,
Yep.
giving the details.
And that's obviously the FBI poster. On the right was a beautiful sort of memorandum they did in her honor. I thought it was really beautiful. and we
Hmm.
wanted to share that
Yeah.
because even though she's been gone for quite a long time, and we don't know exactly what happened to her, there's a lot of people still thinking about Natalie.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of this, right?
It's one mother's account of the fateful moment that changed her life forever. But what really happened to Natalie Holloway that day? The beach was silent. Her sandals were left behind. Her hotel bed was untouched. And the flight back home? She never showed up. Natalie Holloway vanished on the last night of a high school graduation trip to Aruba. No screams, no struggle, just gone.
Wow.
Yeah, that always gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
yeah, like, I recall. I can't show some things on here because it's YouTube, but I do recall the mom saying she got the call from the friends saying that they can't find her.
Yeah, I remember
You
that as
know,
well. Yeah,
precious time has gone by, and that night, I don't know, like she got into the car with three men. I think they gave her something. I think they put something in her drink or something. That's just my
well, I believe that was alleged in some of the research that I saw as well, for when they were at the club that evening. That was alleged that I saw, even though
mm,
it didn't get 100% confirmed because obviously they couldn't find her, but
yeah.
that was alleged that night.
And these two other guys they just get off scot free. And I feel like also just my feeling, what I believe, you know, if she was apparently slipped something in her drink or because the friends did say, Natalie, where are you going? She was in a car and she's like, Aruba. Like, so she was a little bit tipsy
Yep.
and she was in the back seat with two guys. No, and then one was driving. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. Also, I'm not okay with that because he has been known to extort women, you know?
Yeah, he had a gambling problem as well.
Yep.
That was well
Gambling
documented.
problem. And if he just looked at her as like a cash sign, we don't know what happened. And that's just my feeling.
That's
And that's
possible. It's
just
possible.
alleged. But he did confess to what, but let's just say that he did confess that he did murder her. But let's just say, how about if he told her? That's a possibility. We don't know. But he did confess. I wonder if they give a lie detector test on him.
They did, but the thing was back then when it first happened, they weren't as advanced as they were now, and that was also the problem. Like he did give many statements and confessions, but they couldn't verify any of those. And I believe when he gave his most recent confession, they redid the polygraph with modern technology, so
Okay.
they were able to get a more solid answer
Hmm.
out of that weasel after 20 years.
Wow. Okay, next. Whoa, he's aged, eh? Here? Okay. So,
It's a little bit about Joran here.
yeah, that's him here.
Yep.
I believe didn't when he murdered the other girl, that's when they took him into custody, wasn't it? I think
Yes.
so. So it's been quite a few years. That's been
It was a whole 5 years
5
between
years.
Natalie and Stephanie. So he was born August 6, 1987, as a Dutch murder extortionist, con man, drug trafficker. He was convicted in 2010 of killing Stephanie Flores Ramirez in Lima, Peru. He first gained public attention as the prime suspect in the disappearance of Natalie Holloway in
Yeah.
2005.
So here we go. Another girl gone because of this man.
Yes.
And how many others were there?
That-
Probably many.
That were not known about.
Yeah.
Like, look how long it took them to get
Yep.
him for Natalie. Like, look how many years it took. Finally, I couldn't imagine what it was like to struggle for that family, similar to the struggle that Amy Bradley's family went or still going
Yes.
through.
Yes.
For her, it's just unimaginable to
Yes.
us.
Also, when you're on a trip and you are a young woman, never ever tell a stranger that tomorrow's my last day here. Never tell.
Yes.
Never
Yes.
ever. I always tell young girls, never say, no, I'm here for 2 months.
Yep. Always
Be-
say you're there for a long time
because he knows he has that last day, and then
yeah, if you make them think that this is their last chance, the person might be willing to try something they wouldn't normally do.
yeah.
But if you make them feel like they'll have other chances, maybe they'll leave you alone and walk away, hoping to bump into you next week or next day,
Well,
and you'll be
that was
gone.
one of the
You'll be home.
questions. That was one of the questions he asked, because one of the girlfriends said
Yes.
he did ask that in the
Yes, he
casino. How
did.
long are you here for?
Yep.
So
And she told him, allegedly.
somebody asked me that when I was in Aruba on the beach. So I don't even know this person. You never, ever, ever tell them, especially if you don't know who the person is
Exactly.
and you're in a different country. You don't tell these things.
Yeah. This is one instance where it's, in our opinion, it's okay to lie to somebody
I mean, they're young, right? What are you going to do?
because you might be saving your own life, right?
Yeah, and I think he has an advantage if they have only one day there
Absolutely.
left. What's the advantage, babe? If so, in the eyes of his mind, in his mind, so there's less chances for them to catch him because everybody else has to fly away on a plane.
Well, that, and there's the time delay of the flight getting home and this and that, so you have a little bit more time to um, get away with it, I guess, allegedly.
Yeah.
Because, like, say you were traveling just by yourself, you went somewhere, right, and then you check out of a hotel, get on a flight. Now your flight's 6 hours. No one's expecting to hear from you for quite a long time, right? 6 to 8 hours, maybe.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So in your mind, it's like if he did this mid-trip, there would everybody would know. The friends would know. There would be an open and
Of course, because you made plans. You're supposed to go to the beach the next
yeah,
day or go
or you're
for
gonna
dinner.
talk. You're gonna call your mom, all that kind
Whatever.
of stuff. But now the mom's expecting her to get on a flight, so
She's not expecting to hear from her for at least 6 to 8 hours.
yeah. And
At
so he did it
least.
the night that she was going to go. Like that was her last night there.
Yep. Last night there.
That is crazy. Okay. Oh, these are the guys. Okay. So these were the two brothers. What's their names again, baby?
I forgot. Deepak.
Deepak and Kapul or something. His last name was Katish. Okay. Anyways, these are the two guys that was with him
On the night. Those are the two gentlemen that were in the car with Joran when they left the club.
Well, they drive, and he
Yep.
doesn't drive. Apparently, he doesn't drive, so they drove him.
Yep.
They hang out a lot. I just find it weird that they didn't do anything. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I've always found that kind of hard to swallow. I feel like sort of the same situation with Amy Bradley case we covered, but I believe that these guys should now be re-polygraphed
Yeah.
with modern technology.
Yeah.
And reinvestigated. That's
Yep.
just my opinion. Things are different, man. From 20 years ago till now, or 30 years ago till now, things are different. The technology's better.
So these three guys, she was alone in the car with. Just put this picture in your head, okay? I'm a mom. I just no, absolutely not. So these two individuals here said, we just picked them up and we dropped them like you're a chauffeur or something. You guys are friends. So we just picked them up, picked Jordan Vandersloot and Natalie Holloway up, and we dropped them off. There was so many different scenarios.
Versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we
versions of
dropped
the
them off
story.
at the Holiday Inn. Oh, we dropped them off at the beach. Oh, we dropped them off over here on the side of the road. Oh.
Yeah. And
Which is it?
yeah, there was multiple different stories on what happened that night from the brothers and from Joran himself. Right from jump, none of the statements lined up, and that created a little issue for the authorities. But we'll get into the investigating officer a little bit later
so
on.
uneasy about this picture. Just like that is the picture apparently from that.
Well, what about just the way he's looking at the camera there?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
I'm pretty sure they know what happened. Okay, this is the dad and the mom.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the dad. This was the date he passed on, but his connections to the
Case.
and to the country were pretty deep. Like, he was a lawyer and he was working in the judicial system there. get information and an edge that maybe a prime suspect shouldn't have in a case like this.
And he was going to become a judge.
Yes, he was. So that is a very interesting position to be in as a suspect, having that kind of power and influence.
In Aruba, he was I heard he was very well respected. This man. So Jordan Vandersloot's dad was very well respected. I have that article somewhere, babe.
Yep. And that makes sense. Like you have to be well respected if you're working with judges and the legal process. Like you don't just sort of get in there with no qualifications
No.
and not knowing what you're talking about. And you do have to build up credit and a reputation. So
Yeah, I think that day one, like he probably told his dad something. There was this little video I saw. Maybe I'll put it on the next one. Just of him, the recreation of them in a boat and putting her body in the water. And that's just allegedly like that. I don't know if that happened or who said what, but that was said in an article.
that was another one of the alleged ways Natalie was disposed of. Was one of the rumors is that night Joran contacted his father, and his father had a boat, I believe.
Yep.
And they took her out and uh, went a little ways out from the island
Yeah.
and disposed her in that manner.
Because
But that was never proven either.
no. And I mean, they didn't investigate it properly. This is where the whole problem arises. I mean, he's a lawyer, he's going to become a judge, and he's coaxing his son. I mean, things get swept under the carpet. Things doesn't get done properly. The mom had to hire a private investigator. I mean, everything from the get-go, you got to get it right away or else.
Yeah, like anyone who studies cases like this knows the first 48 is the most important. And if you mess it all up within those first 2 days,
Yeah.
the chances of you preserving and gathering evidence and witnesses diminishes so much. And we again saw that in Natalie's situation here.
And
It's
there's
tragic.
also an article too regarding the dad or I believe those lies are coming from Vandersloot. So he's given so many different versions of the story that now you don't know what to believe. Okay.
Yeah.
So he even said that he extorted her. That was in an article as well. So which is it? So how am I supposed to believe that he actually murdered her? Like I don't even know.
Yeah. And it was because of all of this crosstalk which made it hard to prosecute him.
Yeah.
Because he gave a confession, but he's also given 10 other statements that, don't line up with that. And one of those statements can actually be half proven. So now what do you do? Now your confession's garbage. And that happened.
Yeah, I think the stress of this whole thing, he had a heart attack, and he was 57. Yeah, and I think Jordan blamed himself for that. Yeah, I don't know what the relationship with him and his mother was. All I know is the mom said that he lies a lot and gets into trouble a
Yeah,
lot and
I
stuff
remember
like that.
seeing that article.
Yeah. So I do remember a lot about this case. Anyhow, moving on, I will show you more about this, a little kind of like a video in my next episode. So this is where they met. Oh, how convenient, because that's where he always is.
Shocking. At the poker table, right?
Poker table.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been to Aruba. We've been to these casino places there.
Yep.
I think it's 18 to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this was the night of, and I believe this was the night of her disappearance. And I believe this was the last time she was seen on camera.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So she's there. She's with a couple of her girlfriends. They're hitting the poker tables, just having some fun. Their last night there. And this is when they meet Joran.
Yeah. And she got they went back to Carlos, is it?
Carlos and Charlie's.
Carlos and Charlie, sorry.
So they met here playing poker.
That's her here.
And yeah, that's Natalie there. And then they went out to Carlos and Charlie's to do some dancing and have some drinks.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, how long you staying here for?" And then they're talking and chatting and flirting or whatever. And then he goes, "Oh, he said, "Do you want to walk, like go for a walk or something like that?" And I think the girls were looking at him like kind of strangely. And then she's like, "Oh, we're going to Carlos and Charlie's later if you want to come." And I mean, her mom saw this videotape footage. This is a screen grab from the video footage. This is where it started the whole investigation, and he was the last one seen with her. And the
Yeah.
friend said that she went in the car with him from the bar. And yeah, we'll move on to the next one because I think here it is. Here's Carlos and
Yep.
Charlie's.
Yep, that's Carlos and Charlie's. And this is because they had brought up that they dropped her off at the actual Holiday Inn, which they was never. I don't know if it's actually ever proven that happened. But this is just a spot where that is on the island. We know that spot on the island quite well. We drove by a few times, but we did hit one of the beaches that was near there. Since this happened, they actually rebranded that entire hotel to try to, I guess, get away from what happened.
Yeah, we couldn't find it in the maps and everything. I'm like, babe, they changed the name.
Yes, and that's the thing. So when we tried to look up that older name, it wouldn't come up. So then we had to dig back and find out what it originally was called.
Yes, I think it's because they don't want people to reference that hotel with her disappearance. When you look it up. So they did change it.
Yep.
Sunspree used to be something else. It wasn't Sunspree. It was something else. Or it was Sunspree and now it's something else. When was this? Yeah, it was Sunspree. Now it's something else.
Yeah, and it even says now likely rebranded during her graduation. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Yeah. So it's been rebranded. It was Sunspree back then.
Yeah. So this is the outside of it.
Yeah, this is more of Carlos and Charlie. So this is where they went after they did a little bit of poker playing, and this was the last time she was with her friends. Natalie was with her
And
friends, sadly.
Amy Bradley was also in this one.
Maybe.
Apparently. Allegedly. Being seen, right? She was seen here. Okay. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of that. It's located near the waterfront. It's a popular spot. I'm just wondering, like, is this a place for, I don't know.
Well, since this, it has closed.
Yeah.
It has closed down. Ironically, almost everything with Natalie Holloway either got closed down or rebranded. I find that odd.
It's very odd. Very odd.
Seems
Okay.
very weird to me.
Oh, this is sweet. Okay, so this is across on I guess like somewhere here.
It is on Aruba, and that was something I think that Natalie's mom did for her. I'm not 100%, but I noticed that, and I thought that was worth sharing.
Yeah.
Because that is there. I believe that is in Aruba. I could be wrong, and I stand corrected if I am. But she went and visited that, and
yes,
this is the location on the map atop of the Holiday Inn Resort. That's what it got renamed.
Oh yeah, so Sunspree now it's Holiday Inn Resort, Aruba Beach Resort. Okay.
Yeah, and I picked out a modern picture there. That's what it looks like today. And that other picture allegedly was from Natalie's room after she disappeared. Her mother rushed down, and they immediately started looking through her room, her belongings. They're trying to see if they could find anything to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Sloot. He's incredibly charming.
Sorry, I didn't know you had a video next.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
My bad.
So I thought there was picture next, but leading into the video, you want to describe the video that we're going to see next?
Yes. So this video talks a little bit about Joran. So it's interesting because after everything we said, he was a smooth talker. He knew what to say. He was a very well likable person. He was, he was that person that you thought you could trust. If that makes sense.
He was a talker.
He was.
Okay. Let's see.
Sloot. He's incredibly charming. He's cordial. He's funny.
He knows what his targets want to hear.
He admitted to killing 2 women in 2 high-profile cases exactly 5 years apart. Now a new documentary on Peacock called Pathological: The Lies of Joran van der Sloot examines the mind of this murderer.
He killed my sister. Who's to say he's not going to snap and kill somebody else?
Sloot first came to notoriety in 2005 after the disappearance of American teen Natalie Holloway in Aruba. He was never charged by authorities with homicide, even though investigators say he was the last person to see her. It wasn't until last year, when he pled guilty to extortion and wire fraud, that he finally admitted what he did.
And I would say the most difficult part was how violent the description of her death was.
I'm actually with Natalie walking along the beach. We lay down together in the sand, and we start kissing each other.
Because authorities say there wasn't enough evidence to make an arrest in Aruba, he was free to go. 5 years later, Sloot surfaced in Peru and became the prime suspect in the death of Stephanie Flores, who was found dead in a hotel room. He admitted to that crime and was sentenced to 28 years in prison.
Joran felt untouchable.
This was entertainment for him.
The documentary features analysis from psychologists, as well as interviews with Natalie's friends and family, who discuss just how her loss still affects them all to this day. Pathological: The Lies of Joran Sloot premieres on Peacock February 27th.
Yeah, a must watch.
Yeah. I
Pathological liar is what he is. And
I didn't get a chance to watch that whole documentary, but what I did watch was very good.
Yeah.
I liked it. And, that's not for everybody, because it is, it's a dive into what made that man tick, right? And
I think I've seen that one.
yeah,
I think I've seen everything regarding her. I still, till this day, don't believe that what he said. That's just my belief, right? But the parents, they need closure, and we
The
need
family
closure,
does, yeah.
over this case. And I'm
absolutely.
just telling you, there's something in me that just his statement of what happened, his
It's just too fishy for you, eh?
I can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. Because
I don't
if he's
blame you
gonna
for
do
thinking
that, if
like
he's just
that.
gonna throw her there, babe, wouldn't she wash up? I know the current will take you, but at the same time, there would be some remnants of her. Somebody would find clothing or something.
Well, you think, right? But we know the current there pulls you out, right? So it's not like it's got a very aggressive current that slaps up against the shore. Like if you're out a bit, yeah, the current is going to take you away from the island.
But the water is crystal clear, and a lot of people, that officers and stuff like that, when they're searching for missing people, especially in waters like that, it's very easy to see. Let's just say if she went under,
Yeah, you figured
something, there would be some remnant.
well, especially since the location, like Aruba, like fishing's a big part of any Caribbean community, right? So you've got fishermen out at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Jet skis.
Well, maybe not at 4 or 5 in the morning, but local fishermen are
Fishermen, yeah.
like
Walkers.
yeah, like I'm saying, like 4 or 5 in the morning, the fishermen are out, and then maybe some tourists get up and go for that, catch sunrise at 6 a.m. or whenever. But
Yeah, it's not like she's in a, let's say, compare it to that other case, which I'd love to discuss about that one too. But anyways, it's just Caribbean waters. I mean, I don't know. Stuff washes up on shore. Stuff you'll see in the distance. I'm
Usually,
pretty
yeah.
shocked that not one boater saw it. But anyways,
yeah,
we'll move on.
because if you look at the time that she disappeared, and you look at what time local fishermen would have been up, it's not a huge thing. It's only like 3 hours or something, 4 hours.
Yeah. What's next here? Ooh, that's a scary picture.
Yeah, I thought that was a great picture, and it's literally just about the video we watched that was advertising that
Yeah.
documentary, and that's actually just what you want to call it, the thumbnail, I guess.
Yep.
For
You
the
can go check
documentary.
it out.
Yeah.
And here's some court documents.
Yeah, so basically we're not going to read through it all, but we just wanted to show you that we found it. So basically, this is the indictment, United States of America versus Joran Sloot. So this is when they were finally able to get him. And Or actually, no, this is actually when they, I believe, first tried to charge him, and I don't think it worked out.
2010.
Yeah, so it didn't work out. So this was the indictment that they put out, but he ended up walking free, I believe, after that. Or that might have been, actually, I might actually be wrong. That might have been after he got transferred back to the United States, potentially. But this, it goes through the scheme, the charges.
Oh yeah, this is the wire this is the fraud stuff.
Yeah.
225,000.
Yeah, and that's what allegedly. Well, actually, it's not alleged. That's what allowed him to be extradited back to the United States, so he could actually start facing some justice.
Yeah. So I think that that's what this court documents are for, because this is too late in the game for this 2010. So I believe that this is for the wire fraud.
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah.
Account SS Bank. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
We had another set of documents too. So.
Yep. We
got
can just
those
keep
introduced.
going. I mean, you guys can look at this if you want to pause it and look at it if you want, but we're not going to read everything. These are just the court documents to show you the facts here.
Yeah. We did our due diligence. We found these documents.
And I mean, good on them that they got this on him, because
otherwise he'd still be free right now.
Yeah.
He'd still be free.
Because this is done in Aruba, it's very hard,
Any foreign
It's
country.
just like the Utah thing. Because it's done in Utah, it's very difficult. This is what we're talking about here. So it's USA against somebody that lives in Aruba. Okay.
Yeah. And what this was a little bit of the transcript of his actual confession.
Yeah. Okay.
And the audio submitted separately. We got the audio. We got his confession.
This is his confession. Did we already play it?
No, we haven't played it, but this is just a written segment of his actual confession that was recorded. So.
Oh, I see. I can see it now. I just want to just look at it a bit.
Yeah. And then after I found this, then I went and dug up the actual confession too.
She asked me to go back to her hotel. Yeah, right.
I doubt that.
Like she did.
I doubt that.
I mean,
that's just my opinion, but I doubt that happened.
I mean, maybe she wanted to go back so she can go back to her hotel. Like she didn't want to stay at the bar. But I was
just go to bed. She had to pack and leave the next day on a
he's
flight.
putting it on like she wanted him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, she asked me to go back to her hotel room, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from the hotel, so we could go walk back to her hotel. I might still get a chance to be with her. That's weird. You just met her. Okay. Butler. I don't know who Butler is. Is that the officer?
Interviewer, yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. And he goes, then what happens? Yeah. Deepak drops me off. That's one of those two guys that were with.
Yep.
Look at this girl. Got my squirrel again. Okay, and then he goes, then what happens? So Deepak is those two guys that got freed and they didn't do anything, that drove. Deepak drops me off at another place, a little right of the Marriott, known as the Fisherman's Hut. Not too far from, the next hotel is the Marriott. The next hotel after that is another Marriott. Oh my goodness. Which is a timeshare. Anyways, he goes on, and then he goes, we walked along the beach. Yeah. And then he said, so he goes, oh, so Deepak and Satish get out. What happens? He goes, no, Deepak and Satish leave.
Yeah. So this is one of the versions of
many.
Yeah. So it's honestly, I don't know how much stock can be put in that.
Yeah, we don't have to. I just wanted to read a little bit of his his confession there, and there's many of them. Oh, this guy. You want to talk about this guy?
Yeah. So
first, tell everybody who this is.
Okay, so this is Gerald Dompik. He was the lead investigator in the Natalie Holloway case, and he faced a certain amount of scrutiny and allegations in regards to how he handled the investigation into Natalie's disappearance. He didn't pursue leads properly. He didn't get on things in a timely manner. He didn't hold any witnesses at all. There was no witnesses that he bothered to question, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what it was. He didn't quarantine the scene very well, and they didn't do a very good search for her either. And I believe that what this document here shows is a few years after Natalie's disappearance, he quit the police force and resigned. So he ran away. So I believe, if I'm right, it was 2006 he ran away.
Wow.
Yep. Information recovered by editorial staff indicates.
Sorry. Yep.
Indication. Hold on. Staff indicates the commissioner Gerald Dompick submitted his resignation from the police force for September 1st, 2006. And they contacted him and asked him if it had anything to do with Natalie. And he laughed and he said, no, this was always planned. I don't think that was really a laughing matter, to be honest. It's kind of gross.
This guy's something else. I just, he's probably best friends with the dad. Sorry. Remember, the dad was well respected in Aruba,
and connected.
And we know with other cases that are going on right now, if you're high up there, we can cover stuff up if we have those connections. If we have those good connections with people.
Yep.
All right. So moving on.
This guy was a commissioner too. Look, commissioner.
Yep.
Retarded. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Infuriating, in fact.
Yeah, if I was the mom, I'd be pissed off too.
Plus, she asked to go back to her hotel, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from her hotel, so we could walk back to her hotel, and I might still get a chance to be with her.
Okay.
That's what I was hoping for.
Okay. So what happens?
Yeah, Deepak drops me off at a place a little right of the Marriott hotel known as the Fisherman's Huts. This place is not so far from, the next hotel is the Marriott, and the next hotel after that is another Marriott, which is a timeshare, and then it's the Holiday Inn. While we walk along the beach.
All right. Do Deepak and Satish get out? Come with what happens to them?
Deepak and Satish leave. They leave. They go back to their home. I assume they go back to their home. They get in their car and they leave. I'm actually with Natalie walking along the beach. I find a space before we get to the Marriott hotel, where I lay her down. We lay down together in the sand, and we start kissing each other. I get her to kiss me again. We start kissing each other, and I start feeling her up again. And she tells me no. She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist. I keep feeling her up either way. And she knees me. She ends up kneeing me in the crotch. When she knees me in the crotch, I get up on the beach and I kick her extremely hard in the face. Yeah, she's laying down unconscious, possibly even dead, but definitely unconscious. And I see right next to her there's a huge cinder block laying on the beach.
When you say cinder block, looking at the walls of this place, is it like those?
The exact same cinder blocks. I see a huge cinder block laying on the beach. I take this and I smash her head in with it completely. Her face basically, collapses in. Even though it's dark, I can see her face is collapsed in. Afterwards, I don't exactly know what. I'm scared. I don't know what to do, and I decide to take her and to put her into the ocean. So I grab her and I half pull and half walk with her into the ocean. I push her off. I walk up to about my knees into the ocean, and I push her off into the.
How did nobody in Aruba see this? I don't believe it, because that place is a popular place. All hours of the night, people are walking.
Especially at the beach. 1:30, 2 o'clock is not that late.
No, I don't believe it, but
And
he's confessing.
and there's also another weird thing. Like, he mentions that there's just a cinder block sitting there. That doesn't happen. It's a luxury island. The beaches are cleaned every single day.
Yeah.
There is no cinder blocks lying around on the beach for you, Mr. Joran. There is no cinder blocks for you on the beach.
That's what I want to know. Like, did they go to that place where he said? Did they find the cinder block there? Like, did they? Where is that block? Where did you put it?
Yeah.
I don't know if he said. Did he throw it in the water?
No, he didn't say. He just said he used it and it was just there. But we know the beaches. There's no blocks hanging around.
Well, they did say there was construction or something, but why would it be? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite buying it.
Into the sea. After that I get out, I walk home.
Yeah.
So after that, he went home.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe that, to be honest.
See, that's what I'm saying. He lies so much. I mean, we were in Aruba. Like, there's people, I'm telling you, there's people walking at 3 a.m. Not even.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very hard for a girl to be screaming. And I bet you any money he brought her back, Deepak and whatever, brought him back to his place.
Yeah. I don't think
that's where she was.
Yeah. I don't think, well, I think me and you both think that nothing was ever done on the beach.
Nope.
It's just, if you know the island and you know how it is, like, there's people out walking along the beach the whole time, and there's security out all night. So, like, if there would have been some fight on the beach, and all the hotels go right to the beach, pretty much. So if there's a fight there and people are screaming and struggling, like, security from one of the hotels would have noticed, especially since this location is right beside those Marriotts.
Yep. And
I'm sorry, man. They've got security out there 247 all night. I don't know if I buy it.
And he is from there. So he knows where the security guards are. He knows the island. The island's very small. He knows where to go.
You can get anywhere quick in Aruba.
Yeah, he knows. He knows the beach. How can he say that he did this on the beach? Not one person heard her scream?
Oh, because most people haven't been there a lot. Like, anybody who's been there knows that's what it is. Like, if you spent any amount of time there, you know that there's always people out. Like, we've been stumbling around at 5 a.m, and there's security looking at us until we walk through the front door of the hotel.
And that was probably I felt really safe in Aruba, compared to the other places I've been, like, just to see,
me too.
security and people around. And she's near a resort, so you have to remember there's a lot of people on the beach at night.
The bars are still open too.
And there's a lot of bars that are on the beach. Does that make sense? So even if you walk up and down, like, someone had to hear something. I don't buy it.
Yeah, in our opinion, that's not where he
Expecting the 2005 disappearance.
She has to go.
Expecting the 2005 disappearance.
The next clip is this.
Yes, it's a little bit of a news report, but I thought it was interesting enough.
Okay.
Bad.
Sorry about that. A little bit of a intro delay problem here.
Expecting the 2005 disappearance of Alabama teen Natalie Holloway has now admitted he beat her to death on a beach in Aruba after she refused to have sex with him. Joran Sloot has never been charged with her killing. He agreed to provide the details in exchange for a plea deal in an extortion case. Janet Shamlian was in court As Holloway's mother read a victim impact statement, Janet, I can't imagine what it was like to be there. What was the moment like?
After covering this story for almost 18 years, Anne-Marie, it was very emotional. The courtroom was packed. It was filled with family members and high school friends of Natalie's who are now in their mid-30s, and many of them were in tears as Beth Holloway described how Natalie would likely be a mother now, and that would make Beth a grandmother. We also learned the details of how Natalie died and want to warn viewers this morning, those details are disturbing.
Joran Sloot is no longer the suspect in my daughter's murder. He is the killer.
Finally, for Beth Holloway, the desperate search for answers is over.
The never-ending nightmare is over. And to me, that's better than closure.
Joran Sloot told authorities he killed 18-year-old Natalie Holloway on an Aruba beach after she kneed him in the groin and refused to have sex. In horrific detail, he described smashing her head with a cinder block and dragging her body into the water.
She was killed just by standing her ground.
But you didn't know that before.
No, I didn't know anything.
She fought for her life.
She did. And I was so proud of her.
The account, part of a plea deal after Sloot was indicted for extortion and fraud after he demanded $250,000 from Beth Holloway in exchange for details about what happened. In a courtroom filled with family and Natalie's friends, Beth Holloway said Natalie would be 36 years old now. She would be married, have children, my grandchildren. But you destroyed all this when you bludgeoned her to death. The teen's disappearance made headlines for years and was the subject of books and movies. But for a mom, it was all very personal.
Do you have peace?
Yes, I do. I have peace. It felt very victorious too.
It did.
Yeah.
Plea bargains don't necessarily make everyone happy.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says this type of plea deal is rare.
But in this case, you have a mother who, under the circumstances, feels that this plea bargain was in the best interest of justice.
Sloot was sentenced to the 20-year maximum, but will serve it in Peru at the same time he serves a sentence for the murder of a young woman there.
Was it worth the trade-off that you made to get that information?
I don't even think it was a trade-off. I don't think it was. I fought like hell in 2005 to keep him in jail. And so, you know what? I did what I was supposed to do. I'm a mother. I'm not the law enforcement in Aruba.
I mean, I'm so glad he's caught. He can never hurt anybody again. And I'm glad he's doing his time in Peru because he's going to have the worst
I was just going to say
sentence of his life.
he got sentenced in the U.S., but he's serving his time in Peru. He's going to be wishing he was serving his time in the United States.
Yeah, he is going to have it bad. I heard the conditions are not so nice.
No,
So
they're not nice in Peruvian jails. They
no,
are not.
we looked that up. So yeah, so that is, oh man, I just still feel, this is amazing that he's in prison, but at the same time, you would want her body, you would want still the full closure. But I'm glad that the mom has that closure
Yeah.
for herself
Yes.
because she has been fighting for that, and she knew she knew in her heart it was him.
Yes.
Regardless of where her body is now, she's never gonna know, because the lies that he said. But as long as he's in prison, that's closure for her. That's
exactly.
justice for her.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I feel relieved that she's got that peace, and
Yeah.
that's really, really important,
For her mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow this case, but go watch. There's a couple movies on it. I think.
And documentaries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Go watch
I
it.
think Netflix has.
Yep. And here is the extortion, wire fraud
Yes.
document, or is this a link? This is a article. Yes.
Yeah, it's just an article from the United States Attorney's Office, and it was just regarding. Sorry, I bumped the table there.
It's okay.
Just in regards to the extortion and
Yep.
wire fraud.
Yep.
So this is what ended up bringing him back to the United States because they couldn't pin it on him there. And this is what ended up bringing him back because once he did that, now they had something that they could physically charge him with in the United States.
Yeah.
And again, this just goes touches a little bit more on how of an unreliable narrator he is. Even after his 2023 confession, many experts and investigators question whether he was telling the full truth or still crafting a story to his advantage. That's gross. 2023 confession and guilty plea to extortion and wire fraud brought an end to an 18 years of public deceptions for which he is now serving a 20-year sentence in the U.S. running concurrently with his 28-year sentence in Peru. And I believe what they ended up doing is extraditing him to Peru. So that was an older article, but it's still good to know that that he's getting his justice.
Yeah. And I think this extortion, how it all started is he emailed the lawyer because I think he needed money.
You're right.
So he planned.
I think you're right.
If my memory serves me correct, I think he emailed the lawyer, and the lawyer couldn't believe it. He was like, "What do we have here? Like, what is he asking for?
Yeah.
I will give the details of where she is and what happened if you give me this." So they're like, "Wow, we just got like this present in our hand, you know." The lawyer couldn't believe that he emailed him for that. So they went off with it and they wired him the money. They did everything
Yep.
until he got it in his bank account, and now they can go get him for extortion. So that's how all that went down. If you guys are wondering, like, what are you talking about? How did they? It was Joran Van Sloot that emailed the lawyer. So
Yep. And it just shows
so
you that
bizarre.
too much greed will be your downfall.
Oh yeah, he's probably gambling, and people are coming after him. He needed money.
Oh, probably.
All right, here we go.
So I can talk over this. So what this is basically the footage extraditing Joran van der Sloot from Peru to the United States for the extortion and fraud. So this was the actual footage of him landing in the United States and getting taken back. So I thought this was interesting when I found it. I had to take out the audio, but
that's cool.
But literally, this must have been such a great moment for the Holloway family.
That's cool. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah. This must have been such a great moment for the family, knowing that he was back in the U.S. and he was gonna get charged.
Yep. Wow.
That's right, buddy.
That's
you got caught.
I see I want to see, like, he's like a really tall person. He's like taller. Okay, that's him right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Good. He's not going to hurt any other girl. Hope he never gets out. I don't know. I think that's takes up a chunk of his life anyhow.
Yeah, he won't be the same man.
No.
Okay, so along with the lies, while he's been inside, he's been spreading other lies, like people are trying to kill him. He pretended to kill himself to get examined and say that
Poor thing.
He was trying to get transferred, I believe.
Does he need a cinder block? I don't know what he needs. Oh my God, sorry.
Yeah, but it's just more lies. You know, you didn't try to kill yourself. You're fine. But anything to try to bring more attention back to this narcissist.
Yeah.
Like it didn't
It's
stop.
like he's
stop.
he's the victim.
Yeah.
Like he's the victim.
Yeah.
And he was laughing, by the way, when the mom first came to his doorstep, his dad's house. He was laughing. She couldn't believe it. And she was like telling the Aruban police that were with her there.
Yeah.
And those Aruban police are friends with the dad. And she's like, search their home. And they couldn't. We can't, ma'am. I mean, I wish there was a law where you can just search. Just search. There's a missing woman. Just search it, please. Like, how about if she was in the basement? How about if she was in the bedroom? Like, imagine they bursted through the door.
And her body was there.
You know what I mean?
We'll never know.
That time, that little piece of time. I mean, I would have just bursted in myself, move away, and just, ran in the house myself. I don't know what I would have done if that was me.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. So it's,
knowing you probably would have, and the police probably would have clubbed you over the head.
No, I would be too fast. I would have ran right in. I would have been like, looking in the bushes, like where did they hide her there? And then, well, what's that over there? And then just run in the house. Oh, what's that?
Well, that I can see you doing.
What's that? And then just, yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't lock the door. I mean, I don't understand why the cops couldn't, check the house.
At least his beach house, or not his beach house, but his pool house, like where he was staying.
Did they say they needed a warrant?
Yeah, they
I
did.
mean, I don't think you need that if somebody's missing and he was the last one seen with her.
I'm not quite sure about Aruban law for that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Okay, and then this is the two girls. This is the girl that was from Peru that he met in a casino. He met her in a
Stephanie.
casino.
Yep, met
You
both
know.
the girls in the casino. We are going to touch a little bit more on Stephanie and the situation regarding her next episode. And we've got a whole bunch of weird details about Joran that we're also going to bring up in the next episode as well.
And he was in Thailand, in casinos,
Yeah.
extorting women, telling women, I remember this clearly, telling women, I can make you a model.
Yeah.
I can do this for you.
Yeah.
I can do that for you.
Yeah.
I just tell me what you need. I can help you. So I have the article of that from the Thailand police. Okay. So this is weird. I don't think these two girls were the first ones. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And we definitely don't think that they were the first. We think they're the ones he got caught for.
Yeah.
Which is brutal.
And then this is interesting. You found this on TikTok, right, babe?
Yeah, I found this on TikTok. We haven't had a chance to look into it, but what the heck?
What is that?
What the heck,
We
man?
just covered that. We just covered Amy Bradley.
And I found this, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Now we need to look into this place as well.
Can we talk about the Carlos and Carlos in Aruba? Has ties to both Amy Bradley and Natalie Holloway. Carlos and Charlie, sorry.
Yep.
Ties to Amy Bradley and Natalie Holloway. That is crazy,
We'll look into it, and we'll see if we can get that into the next episode. If not, we might have to do a separate update after we look into that a little bit more.
Yep. And we're almost done here. This is just what it looks like. A little bit clearer. Yeah, that's the little bar there.
Yep.
And yeah, we are done. We are done for this
this episode.
Well, this episode,
Yep.
and we're probably gonna do. I like he wants to do two. Like I'm gonna probably just do one more, and I don't know if we're gonna do a live. Like type in the comments if you want me to do my next one regarding Natalie alive, and then everybody can participate. But I decided to just do this video because we had a lot to discuss, and me and him had to like edit it and stuff, and it's been a long week. So
Yeah.
I
It's
appreciate
been a long week.
yeah. So I appreciate thank you, Chris, for helping me with the slide and everything. And
My pleasure.
yeah. And then I will see you guys later for Freedom Friday. And thank you so much for coming.